This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. Today's discussion is it's a takeoff on the concept to be or not to be. It's to DEI or not to DEI. So there is so much discussion right now about diversity, equity, inclusion, and to one extent, you're seeing the backlash from the last couple of years of so much discussion of DEI and diversity and equity and inclusion. And you're seeing it play out in various different spots in the beginnings of the Trump administration. And I have to tell you, I don't have to proclaim to be pro DEI or anti DEI, but what I can tell you is when Pete Hegseth's first discussions as Secretary of Defense are that he wants to banish all DEI, and if you don't abide by banishing all DEI and taking out all discussions of DEI, that you're going to be discharged or dismissed or what have you. I can't tell you, to me, how much Hegseth misses the purpose of his appointment. Now, the purpose of Hegseth being appointed is to make sure that we are militarily in great shape and defense-wise in great shape. This is the purpose of Pete Hegseth and the Secretary of Defense. It is not to fight various different culture wars. And even if you want to fight some of these culture wars that you don't love, it doesn't matter. Fight them as 10% of your job, 98% of your job, 99% of your job, 100% of your job is to keep our country safe, not to fight the culture wars. And just so we're all on the same page here, and people don't take this as anti-Republican, anti-Democrat, I would say the same exact thing to the people that are in charge of firefighting in LA. It's not about culture. It's about keeping our country safe. And the more we can move all of our leadership to keeping our people safe, keeping our country safe, focusing on our core job, and making the cultural wars 5% of what we do or a piece of what we do rather than the whole thing, the better off we are. I'm not a Pete Hegseth fan. I am a huge Marco Rubio fan. I'm a huge fan of Elise Stefanik. I'm not a fan of Mehmet Oz. I'm not a fan of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And so this is not an anti-Trump bashing. This is just a Pete Hegseth's an idiot bashing. And the focus on culture wars, rather than keeping our nation safe, is moronic at best and awfully bad for our country's defense at worst. Get out of the culture wars, get into the defense of our country. Thank you. That's our discussion today on to DEI or not to DEI. We'll have more of these episodes in the near future. Thank you so much for listening.